That's the name of the number or the musical. It could be either.
Ooh, 710 split. Yeah. Or just split! Exclamation point.
Oh, wow. Welcome to Video Game Podtimism.
Wow.
It's the Optimists video game variety show where two best friends talk about the wonderful world of gaming. My name's Chase.
My name's David. Are we not goofing this week? Are we not doing a goof?
No, I thought we'd flip it on him. We do a goof right here now.
Oh.
Gotta keep things
It's the
fresh.
post-introduction goof.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's think of the goof. What can we do right here? What's the fresh episode 103 goof that we're bringing to the table this week?
What other funny goofs do we have?
Well, hey, have you been playing video games, David?
The well runs dry.
Yeah.
There is a drought now of goofs.
We hung out all weekend, and so I'm
Spreads
like,
across the land.
I've been goofing pretty much as hard as I can all weekend.
We can just lay down some of the best goofs we did over the weekend at the bachelor party. Like when I called Mario Mr. Worldwide.
That was really good.
People enjoyed that one.
I liked Mr. Wario being called Mr. Worldwide. I really, really enjoyed the concept of Pac-Man being like hyper religious guy. Yeah, that was really, really good to me.
I mean, he puts that hydrant down and there's water that goes in both directions, which kind of looks like a cross to me.
It's a little Christ-like, which I'm really into that.
Pacifist man.
Yeah, great. Those are all really good goofs. Hey, have you been playing video games, David?
I've been playing so many games.
Yeah.
Because as I said, we were at a bachelor party where the main course was games.
It was video games, yeah.
Of course, I've still been playing obscene amount of Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Still very good. Still very into it.
Yeah,
the underground caverns. Oh my goodness. When you go down the first time, you're like, holy shit. Just keeps going. It's great.
It's nuts, yeah.
Very dramatic moment, and it looks beautiful down there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So yeah, that's tight. And played some Metroid Dread on the plane.
Oh yeah, sure, your travel companion.
It's not a great plane game.
Yeah, a little tough.
I need more real estate for my eyes
and your arms. I suspect.
My arms. Yeah, because I'm a wide boy. So I need a little bit more space to lay out to play a game like Metroid Dread on the plane effectively.
Got to get that Samus width.
Yeah, but still a very fun game. It kicks my ass sometimes, just like brutally kicks my ass. So I haven't made great progress in it, to be honest.
Sure.
Because I'll just be going, and then I'll just like hit a room. I'm just like, I need to be way more engaged than I am right now to be able to get through this part.
It does demand a lot from you every now and then.
Yeah, and I also have difficulty because there's so many items and like things you can do in this game that the breaks I take in between playing it, I just forget so much.
Yeah.
It's not a great game to come back and try to jump into. It's kind of demanding in that way.
I played it over the course of like a week, so I feel like I didn't really run into this problem super hard, but I could definitely see the like item management being pretty tough, and then also the like just the map management. I was lost in that game pretty regularly.
This is a big, hefty map.
Yeah.
Hefty. So, and all the different ways it interconnects and like the portals and the elevators. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so lost. Yeah. So I'm using a lot of guides for this game. But it's fun. I still enjoy it. It's a dense game mechanically. So it's intimidating to jump back into it every now and then.
Yeah, sure.
But still good. Dived back into Hades on the plane ride back.
Tempting.
Why not?
I saw it being played this weekend too, and I was like, maybe I play it again though. Drew, shout out Drew, played it for a hot second at the bachelor party on the big screen. Like 30 seconds, I will say, not very long.
Looked directly at me and is like, hey, David, you see what I'm playing? Drew, known listener of the show, just teasing me with the Hades bait.
It was an invitation, yeah.
And I couldn't resist. Yeah. I hopped back in and I got like a super soaker gun with this playthrough because I
Mm-hmm.
used the gun and it was the Lucifer gun, and then I got the Poseidon boon for attack.
Yeah.
So it just like blasts people away with a jet of water. It was great. It was so fun. And I got the rupturing boon, and I got the boon that makes people take extra damage if you hit them against a wall. And so I was just killing people. It was a great combo of boons. It was
Sweet.
awesome.
Nice.
New one. It just was like first playthrough afterwards. I'm like, oh, I've never had this playthrough before. This is great.
It's great. It's incredible.
Still good to play.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. I think that's everything that I've been playing individually. Do you want to go over what you've been playing individually, and then we'll talk about the stuff at the bachelor party together?
Yeah, sure. Because there's definitely some crossover there. Let's see. So the things that I'm playing mostly on my own are two mostly Steam Deck games. Well, they're Steam games. I just happen to be playing them on the Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is Rogue Legacy 2. Do you know about this game? Do you know about Rogue Legacy?
I've heard the name, but I don't really know anything about it.
Sure. Okay, so like Rogue Legacy 1, I think it came out in like 2011, 2013, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this like side-scrolling roguelike, maybe roguelite is a better description, but where you like run through this castle, there's like a handful of bosses, and there's like meta progression on top of it. It's like a 2D side-scroller sort of thing, and like has, I'd say, a fairly, not chipper, but kind of like bright and fun looking color palette and art style overall. And so
Sure.
it has this kind of like, not happy-go-lucky, but upbeat attitude to it rather than like, some darker stuff. And by and large, this was like my introduction to the roguelike genre 10 years ago or whatever.
Uh-huh.
This and FTL were like the first games that I played that were like really interested in the loop of going through a kind of similar layout that is procedurally generated that you're intended to play through many, many times.
Sure.
I kind of missed the boat with like Spelunky, which I know had come out before that, and then also Binding of Isaac. Both of those came out before Rogue Legacy 1, but I just hadn't really like gotten into them that much.
Yeah.
Anyway, so cut to, I think it was earlier this year or earlier last year. I'm not sure. The Besties had covered this at some point, and I like picked it up because it was in early access a little while ago, Rogue Legacy 2, and had liked it and was like, I bet I will enjoy the full release. I'm just going to hold off on this.
Yeah.
Because like some games are like in early access, but it's like, damn, this thing is like damn near done, right? Like they're kind of just like adding features at this point. But Rogue Legacy, it was clear, like you got to one part of the game and it's like, hey, we're not, this is it right now. Like there's no more. Which is fine. Like, cool. It's like kind of a big old demo. And so it was like, great, I'll come back to it, and came back to it. And here we are. It is.
Here we are.
Here we are. It's got this like it's very similar to the first Rogue Legacy, like just on the surface. Many of like the ideas that they were working with are still very present, right? Like you're still running through a big castle, beating a handful of bosses, and when you die, you take back the gold that you would earn from that run to like improve your characters and unlock new classes and shit like that. That part of it is all still there. I think like they have just sort of taken a lot of those ideas, out farther. They've pushed them farther. So more upgrades. The castle like sort of is more interesting and a little bit more dynamic in this one. The abilities that they're giving you are interesting and neat, and you essentially have to like go through these challenges before you can even unlock them to like essentially prove that you're ready. There's like these big like statues that you'll run up to, and it's like, hey dude, you want to learn how to like double jump or air dash or whatever? Yeah. And you have to like go through these trials where it's like teaching you how to air dash essentially, which is, I think, kind of an interesting way to like give you the ability to do those things.
Sure.
And so they are adding on like mechanics slowly but surely, which I think is a cool addition here. It does have like I said, this like significant like meta progression layer that I sort of fear that will turn off some of the roguelike purists.
Sure.
You can definitely make the game easier for yourself if you just grind levels.
I just want to feel bad about myself when I play this game. How do I turn that mode on?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like good options in here. There's something called house mode or house rules rather, that you can update. And it's a lot of like, invincibility or, damage output or up your health by X%, which I think is like, again, that's the kind of accessibility that I really prefer, where they're just like, listen, you can kind of like break the quote unquote, base experience in this game, but if you want to, like, do it. Like, I don't give a shit.
It's your game. Play it how you want.
It's your game. Yeah. Play it how you want to. And so like, while I haven't really messed with a lot of that stuff, because I do trust the designers and like the developers of this game to, have tuned the difficulty to a certain extent, it is nice to know that like it is there And, if somebody wanted to just kind of like run through this game, they could. Because there's kind of a story in there. So it is neat to kind of experience that. But anyway, yeah, like I do think that the meta progression layer that they have, being able to, up your max health or your, normal base damage, is a cool way to add a normal amount of difficulty on yourself to just kind of layer it off a little bit before you're just like, I'm going to turn on invulnerability or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, it feels very Elden Ring. It feels like a lot of those kind of games that allow you to put in more work to make the game easier on yourself rather than just having to like do a no-hit run or something like that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So yeah, I also think like the art is really incredible. Like some of it's got this like kind of 2.5D stuff going on, which for whatever reason, I remember this looking a lot worse in the early access. I was like not a huge fan of the art style. And I'm not sure if like it's just grown on me or if like they've done a lot of tuning to make it look really good. But
just make it pop somehow.
Yeah, it looks great on the screen. So I'm like, maybe I just am misremembering what that looked like. But I think it looks really good. So like overall, I don't think this game is like the splash that the first one was, but it's still really fun. Like the first Rogue Legacy is like still very cool, and so to just have like more of that is not a bad thing to me at all.
Yeah.
I think it's like a really good introduction into the genre overall. Like if this was your first roguelike, I think people would like you grok it pretty quickly, like what you have to do.
Sure.
And it like I said, it's not too complicated. There's an attack and a jump and like kind of a bounce. If you like attack downward, you can kind of do like a down air from Smash.
Oh hell
and,
yeah!
Like, bounce off of certain things to kind of like hop your way
Smash
up.
roguelike would be fun.
Oh my God, yeah, it's true.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's really good. It's not like shattering my mind, but I'm having just like a really good time playing through it. Yeah, it's a good video game, the Rogue Legacy 2.
Cool.
The other game that I've been playing on my own is this game called The Iron Oath. I was just showing this to you.
It looks cool.
It looks cool, and it is cool. I'm really enjoying this one a lot. It's this, as they describe it, a tactical fantasy RPG. It's made by this company called Curious Panda. The main core mechanic of this game, it's sort of a Fire Emblem-y kind of thing. It's like a fighting tactical game that is grid based, and you have certain characters that move across the grid, and you go back and forth fighting.
Can you make friends?
You can make friends. Yeah,
that's why Chase is there.
I wish. I don't know if you can kiss anybody, which is thus far a shame. But
that's a big mark against it.
Yeah,
in the con category for this game,
cannot kiss.
Cannot
no, thank
kiss.
You. No,
all caps.
Let's see. So yeah, you have that system kind of at the bottom of it. Above that is this like dungeon crawler thing that you do. So it reminds me. Did you ever play Darkest Dungeon? Do you know that game?
I never played it, but I watched you play it a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So it's got a very similar way to traverse these dungeons in that like there's a kind of node-based map where you're going from like one square to another, and in some of the squares there's like fights, in other ones there's random events, and you can't really see like which one's connected to which from very far away. And so you have to sort of just like hop through these to check like, okay, is my objective in here? Is my objective out there? Where's the exit? All that sort of stuff. And the longer you spend in there, the more like risks you acquire. So like if you're in there for, 20 ticks of time, then you might be more prone to injury, or your morale starts to dip lower pretty easily or something like that. And so you're encouraged to keep this balance of like, I do want to explore, but also the longer I'm in here, the more risky it becomes, right? So it's a nice kind of blend of the two. And I also find it a lot more forgiving than Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon really like kicked your ass a lot of the time for not doing a really good run through the map.
Sure.
But it's got a similar thing. And also like Darkest Dungeon, you can take certain resources into the dungeon with you, like, a shovel or something like that, to make sure that, if you run into a special event where you have to dig yourself out of a trench, or like, there's a cave in or something, you can either spend 4 ticks of time cleared out by hand, or you can use a shovel and it takes like 1, right? So
sure.
All that sort of stuff. So you've got this kind of like resource of time counting for you and against you, and you can offset that with different like stuff that you bring into the dungeon, which I think is cool. From there, once you're out of a dungeon, or not in this sort of like combat zone, there's this like pretty rich overworld that you can go explore, you typically have some kind of mission of like, hey, you know, we need to go to this town and do this thing. Thus far, I've pretty much just beeline for whatever, you know, story beat they're telling me to go to.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a pretty cool system that they've got set up wherein there's a ton of towns and they're all sort of divvied up into different kingdoms that you can see on a very good map. And all these towns have different levels that you have to keep track of like, these people are friendly to you, or these people don't really know you, and so they're not going to be as accommodating, which translates to like discounts at the inn or easier missions or better pay for missions or better paid the merchants and shit like that.
Yeah.
And so
Friends
there's like
discount.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's implications of moving through the world rather than just like, I'm at a new town. And let's see what else. The people that you can put in your party are definitely vulnerable. Like if they die, then you either have to get them to an inn to like, you know, recover them, or they will like actually perish. And in it kind of similar to Wildermyth from last year, the characters that you recruit, they also have like, you know, lives, like time is passing. And so eventually they grow old and, you know, either leave the troop or can die. And so like they can also leave the troop if you are making decisions that they disagree with.
Sure.
Sometimes you'll be in a dungeon, there will be somebody who's like injured or something that you come upon, and it can take time to like give them medical attention. So like that's a risk. Or you can just sort of like move on without doing anything for them. And so, you know, certain people in your party will either think you are compassionate for staying and helping, but one person might think that we're being risky by taking too much time in here, right?
Gotcha. It's like a Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead thing reminds me kind of like Dragon Age, in that like the decisions that you make aren't going on some morality meter. It's just influencing the people who are around you, which I think is a better way to handle that, honestly. Like, you know, Paragon system in Mass Effect is fun, but it ultimately boils down to like a very mechanical decision that you end up making.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it is more interesting to look at a decision and say like, shit, what's everybody going to think about this? Like, I really don't want to lose this person because they're like my best party member, or I think they're interesting or whatever.
I want to kiss them.
Which, you know, that's a valid reason too. Why not? And so it ends up making this like, it feels like a very crunchy fantasy experience, which crunchy, like there's a lot to sink your teeth into here.
Oh, yeah. Succulent.
A little bit. Like it feels kind of Game of Thronesy in the sense that like there is a lot of information that if you care to look at is very well thought out.
Yeah, just looking at the map and everything for the brief moment, I'm like, Game of Thrones is a big influence on this for sure.
Yeah, and like I think they've taken stuff from the series that isn't just like, you know, the darkness of Game of Thrones, right? Like that's not really in this one that hard, right? Like they didn't look at Game of Thrones and say like the best part about this is that main characters sometimes get killed in Game of Thrones. Like I think they took away the world building and sort of the complex kingdoms and interests and people that Game of Thrones has, that I think is really cool and makes the world feel very grounded, even though there's like definitely magic and shit happening here.
Sure.
And so I'm really digging it. It's in early access, and so I don't think that like, you know, the game is fully done, but I'm enjoying the product that they have so far. Like it feels really good to play through, and I'm really like soaking in the world that they've made. So I think it's really good. I'm trying to think of what else to say. I think that's mostly it. It's a good video game.
Looks fun.
It is fun. I've been trying to play this on the Steam Deck, and this is the first one that I've run into where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this one on the Steam Deck.
Doesn't quite work.
It's a very mouse heavy game.
Sure.
And to be fair, keyboard too. Like there's a lot of just like hotkeys of like, okay, if I press Q, then that puts me into the move mode in combat. Or if I press 1 on the number pad, then that'll get me my first attack. Whereas with the Steam Deck, you don't have that. And so like you just have to click it with the little trackpad, and some of these buttons are pretty tiny. So like it becomes kind of a challenge to play with the trackpad on the Steam Deck. I booted it up for the first time on PC today, and I was like, oh my God, this is a much better way to play this game.
This is the way God intended this game to be played.
Yeah. And so like that's obviously not a knock against the game. I don't think anybody has been developing with Steam Deck first in mind, other than like the Office game that the Steam people put out that's like kind of Portal themed.
Oh.
But other than
what
that,
is this
like,
game?
It's like I think it's like an office simulator thing. Hold on, let me
Like
let me-
The Office or in Office?
No, an office, like in Aperture Labs, I think is what it's.
It's like, did they give Michael Scott a portal gun?
Aperture Desk Job is the name of the game.
Mm.
It looks interesting, but I haven't played it yet. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's a lot of games that are like, the Steam Deck is the first thing in mind. And I also don't think this game has like super crazy controllers support yet, which usually translates to it being fine on the Steam Deck. But yeah, it's tough to use a trackpad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love where this game is going. I think like there are a lot of games in the fantasy settings, but not a lot that are like actually pretty well written with the way the world is set up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Do you want to talk about the bachelor video games, David?
The batch games. Yeah, let's do it.
Games. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Smash Bros.
Yeah, we played a pretty fair amount of the Smash
we played
Brothers.
A lot of Smash Bros. It's great. I think we talk about Smash on this a lot, but we played it. Chase and I 1v1. My eyes got hurt because I wasn't blinking.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. I played Sora for the first time. I haven't done that yet.
Sora's pretty fun. He's very floaty boy.
Very floofy. I was very into that.
Very floofy. Mucho floofy.
Mucho floofy. I was a little bummed out that they did not play Simple and Clean when Sora won, but here we are.
Yeah, just like an orchestral arrangement of it. Come on.
Just a little
bit. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. That's it. You can use that. You can print that one. Yeah, no, Smash Brothers good. I don't know if there's a ton else to say about the good Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I don't think most of these games are not groundbreaking that we played. Halo Infinite, played a lot of that.
Yeah, I don't think I actually played a single game of Halo over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get my hands on the sticks.
What were you doing, bro?
So I was a lot of my weekend was spent in Hale's various like chairs and massage devices. Like I spent a lot of time in the chair that leans back very far.
The zero gravity chair.
The zero gravity chair. I spent a lot of time in his decompression table to stretch out my back.
This was a self-care weekend for Chase.
It kind of was. I kind of just like got massaged all weekend, which has left me feeling pretty good. Halo good.
Halo good. There was some good Elden Ringing.
Yep, which I was worried about you were going to catch some spoilers in there, but
I avoided it. I went into the other room for a bit when they were in a certain like a snowy area. I'm like, I don't need to see this. I don't need to see this. But I walked in and championed Drew. That was good.
Oh yeah, true.
And all I had to do was just dodge and heal. I'm great at that. I'm great at dodging and healing.
I sort of forget what it's like to play games like this in just like a big group of people. I feel like that was a lot more common when, I guess,
pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID and like, when we were much younger and like had access to each other's homes very easily.
True. Yeah.
Of like, we're just going to hang out with like 8 people and then play a video game or whatever.
Yeah, we had 4 TVs
that was
and
cool.
Like 5 or 6 Xboxes.
There's a handful of Xboxes, a half dozen video game consoles, a couple of Switches.
Yeah. Garen bought his N64, which we didn't even touch.
I know. I felt bad that we didn't even.
He was going through security at the airport. He's like, wow, I'm really glad I brought this. Should have take the whole thing out into the bin.
Jesus.
But I mean, if we needed it, he was the only one who could provide.
It's true. The only game that I had written down that I played over the weekend. Can I talk about that one?
Yeah.
Assetto Corsa was the name of this game.
Is that what the game was? That wasn't a Forza Motorsport or anything like that?
That is correct, yeah.
I've never even heard of this game.
I hadn't either. I thought that I was playing Forza initially, and I was like, wait, this is a very different game. So our friend Hale, whose bachelor party it was, he is really into racing games, and as a result has like a racing wheel and all that sort of stuff.
This is like an expert fucking racing wheel, though.
It is very good. Yeah, no, it's not the Wii steering wheel strapped to a chair or whatever.
No. And
so there was just like essentially the racing wheel and the accelerator, the clutch, and the brake just set up in somebody's living room. And we would kind of rotate in and out of playing these racing games. And one of the racing games that they loaded up was Assetto Corsa. This is a simulation racing game made by Kunos Simulazione. Oh God. Kunos Simulazione. It's an Italian company.
Simulazione?
I think so. Yeah. Thank you, Italian David.
I don't know. I'm just shooting shit over here.
I mean, I stumbled pretty hard on that first try. So this is I'm reading you information that I learned moments ago. This is a simulation racing game that it wants you to feel like you're very much driving a real ass car.
Yeah.
And was worlds more unforgiving than either Gran Turismo or Forza.
It was intense.
Wild, man. Like I thought that I was approaching regular driving mechanics with Gran Turismo, but like the moves that I was bringing to this one were not ready for real driving. Like,
yeah, this is actually, you need do you need a steering wheel to play this game? Can you play without a steering wheel?
I feel like it would be really hard to play this game without a steering wheel. Like, yeah. So in the steering wheel that Hale had, essentially you could feel the way that the car was reacting to the road, right? Mm-hmm. And so like oftentimes that's, kind of just feeling the acceleration, or when you're going around a turn, it's shaking a little bit. But I think the most helpful and most important thing was that you could feel the tires giving way when you're turning. So like you can feel when the tension of the tires and the road are not coming in contact with each other enough.
Yeah, you can feel when the car is about to spin out if you're taking a turn too hard or too fast.
Which I feel like a lot of racing games do a lot to make you not just spin out.
Mm-hmm.
But after having played this game, I was like, I bet that happens a lot if you're not careful. And good Lord, that's like all I did for a little while when I was trying to play this, was just like, I don't know how to even drive this thing. And then eventually reverted back to like, I'm just going to try and drive this like I would drive a normal car, which was initially quite slow, but eventually kind of got the hang of it and like really liked it. I really liked playing this video game.
It was fun. That initial D level?
Yeah, the initial D level was really good. Hale's dad had sent us like, here's my lap time with this car on this map. And we were all sort of like hunting to try and get a better lap time than that. I don't think any of us crossed the threshold of sub 3 minutes.
You got like 302, 303, something like that?
It was close. Yeah, it was pretty close, but like wasn't sure if I could cut any more time off of it. It was really fun. I know that like the Dark Souls of blank comparison happens all the time, but like, damn, this game felt like a Dark Souls racing game.
Yeah, it was unforgiving, but fair.
Yes.
It's like, I messed up there. I took that too fast. I should have braked earlier. I took it too hard. It was always, you could always pinpoint like what you did wrong.
It was usually pretty obvious. Like whenever I crashed or like didn't do it right, I was like, I know exactly what I did there. I was like pushing too hard and like came in too fast, or was turning too hard, or oftentimes, and I didn't even realize this was an issue, but like, if you're really gunning it out of a turn, that will like immediately just spin you out. So like you really have to not do that.
Yeah, if the car is good enough, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you just go too quick.
Yeah.
Too big for your britches.
Yeah. But anyway, in the same way that like it feels good to beat a boss in Dark Souls, it felt really good to finish a lap in this game.
Yeah, I was just happy when I finished that 12-minute monstrosity of a race.
They had you set up in like, can't remember the name of the car, but it's essentially the initial D car. And you're racing around Nürburgring, which is like a pretty lengthy race. And the intention of the challenge was to get it in a I think it was 9-minute, 30-second lap or whatever.
Yeah.
Just incredibly difficult.
Yeah. And never going off the track either.
Yeah, no, you can't spin out. That was true with both of the levels that we played. Was like if you go off the track, your lap time doesn't count.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It makes you feel like the run was pure. Like you truly did not fuck up that badly if you even got to the end of the lap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I definitely got a little bloodlust in this game. Like I could definitely play this for a lot of time.
Yeah, you need the wheel though. You need that wheel.
I think playing this with a controller would be like either impossible or just not nearly as satisfying.
Would you have to like get some racing gloves and a fan to blow into your face, some goggles, a scarf, a little espresso on the side?
When did it turn into like an Italian touring racer?
When it's called Assetto Corsa, made by Simulazione or whatever. Simulazione.
You are right. I do need to get a scarf and a very comically small bit of cappuccino.
Yeah.
That I can race my car around.
Some very small spectacles.
Just like unusably tiny.
Yes.
Like I cannot see anything.
You can read one letter at a time through those glasses, and that's it.
You really get the true experience when you read a book one letter at a time.
It's a guessing game at that point.
The developer's intended experience.
One letter, really take it in each time. Experience the print.
Have you ever truly experienced the old man in the sea, David?
T. H.
E.
Hey, you knew where I was going.
Oh, yes, I did. I had an incredible experience with Captain Underpants this weekend. Just one letter at a time. Just delectable book.
Savored each one.
Yeah, I thought this game owned. I was really into this.
Yeah, you and I think Drew got the most into this game. There was a point where Drew was quiet for like an hour. Just like as close to the screen as he could get.
Yeah, which seemed to bring out a lot of frustration after he played through it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was in the zone. Like I was very zenned out once I finished those laps.
Yeah.
I didn't really crush any of these records, but I felt like I had to focus so hard that like I had to turn my brain off, which is really nice, honestly.
You didn't break any records, but you broke your personal record, Chase.
Yes, which felt good.
Yeah. That's what matters. Be better than yourself.
It was great. I like, this sounds so cheesy. It felt like meditation, David. Like I had to put my ego of how quickly I wanted to go around these corners on the side.
Yeah.
So that I could actually do the race correctly.
100%. Because if you try to just take this like you're, I don't know, Lightning
playing
McQueen,
any other game
or playing any other game, Burnout, some shit like that, Mario Kart, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a really
immediately
bad time.
bad.
You're gonna spin up immediately. But there is a very different sort of plane of thought that you can get to, mental state that you get to with this type of game.
It's very bizarre.
It's kind of like, I feel like the only other game where you talked about feeling like it's meditation was Farming Simulator.
Oh my God.
Did you get similar Farming Simulator vibes to this game, Chase?
Kind of, yeah. Like some people were watching me play that race and like they were talking, but I just could not hear them. Like I was somewhere else. I was off in the fields racing my car.
With your scarf. Your tiny cappuccino.
And with my very, very tiny cappuccino, delicious, savored in every sip. I refill one sip at a time every lap.
You have an espresso machine in the car with you.
yeah, absolutely. Or that's part of the pit crew. They come out and just ding, a tiny little drop of cappuccino.
That's beautiful. That'd be a great thing.
Yeah.
A little cappucci.
A little cappucci. What else did you want to talk about at the games at this party?
I think that's kind of everything that we played, isn't it? We played anything else?
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Yeah. Those are all the video games.
It's a good party.
Anyway, this will bring me to my Podtimistic thing of the week, David.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker. It's LAN parties.
Ooh, baby.
I don't necessarily know that anything here qualifies as a full-blown LAN party because we weren't necessarily connected to each other's like local area networks.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of co-op going on that was like made immediately easier by being next to each other.
Sure. Yeah.
Like the connecting to each other with Halo, with Elden Ring, there was some co-op going on that like was very easy to be like, hey, you need to come over this way. And then just look at the other person's screen and be like, where is that? How do I go through there?
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. I love a good LAN party. It's just so nice to be able to be all in one room
bring
hanging
back
out.
couch co-op. Come on, video game industry. My God.
It's a little bit there. There's some couch co-op.
There's some. It's true. But
there's some.
It ain't the same as when we were kids and everything had it. It's just so much easier to communicate, like you said. Like I don't have to like ping anything. I don't have to like be super descriptive. I'm just like, hey, over here. I don't download an app to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to put in my Nintendo friend ID.
Oh, God.
Never a fun experience.
Dark times.
Hey, do you have something fueling your sense of optimism, David?
Yeah, it's VRR, baby.
VRR?
Yeah.
Virtual reality robots.
No.
Very rich rings. Very rich rings.
You're going to say very rich rectums for a second.
Okay.
You said very rich
Wreck-It Ralph viewing sessions.
Very rich Wreck-It Ralphs. No, it stands for variable refresh rate.
Aha.
Yes.
Yes, David.
Yes.
We talking refresh rate.
We talking refresh rates.
Talk to me about it.
So for people who don't know, VRR lets you increase a game's frame rate by using like an AI essentially to insert extra frames where the game is not providing them, right?
Sure.
Through whatever monitor or TV you have. And PlayStation 5 finally got this update.
Oh, really?
To do this.
I didn't know that.
They just recently got this. So when you next boot up Elden Ring, Chase, you should go and into the settings, the display settings, and go to VRR and say turn on for all games. Because only some of them directly support it, but it can also just run it for any game. Elden Ring is so smooth now, baby. Oh my gosh. It's because you have a decent TV and like a PS5. You can see how like the frame rate dips sometimes if you're like looking far away and kind of moving the camera around quickly, right?
Yeah,
but
sure.
With the VRR, that is minimized quite a bit to like where it rarely happens. And so the game is just way smoother now.
Do I need a TV that can handle more than 60 frames a second? Like, is my refresh rate gonna need to be pretty high?
You need a TV that has VRR.
I don't know if mine does, David.
That can like support it somehow. But also I think your refresh rate needs to be high.
Yeah.
Mine's 120.
Yeah, you got that fancy boy TV. You got a real fancy TV. I don't know if I have a good enough TV.
Chase, this is another reason for you to get a new TV. I think we talked about it this weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, I was like...
I'm going to keep whispering in your ear these dark incantations until it happens.
I brought one of my TVs with me up to the bachelor party. And I was like, I wasn't hoping for it. I didn't tell anybody this.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if somebody hip checked it just a little wrong off one of the corners and like, oopsie daisied, I'd put on the theater required for me to be like, oh no, my TV broke.
Chase.
Looks like I gotta get a new one.
You know what game just released that is known to send controllers flying at the TV?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a second here. This is your chance.
Yeah.
This is your chance, buddy. Just be like, whoopsies.
I was playing badminton, sorry, and I threw a bowling ball and a real bowling ball through my TV.
Whammy, because I need a new television. Gotta go down to the Best Buy store.
Hey, Geek Squad, I made a real big oopsie. Now let's buy a TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a foolproof plan. I was going to say anything bad. It's a foolproof plan. We got it. That's no problem.
Nothing bad can come from this.
No. Cut to me just yeeting my TV off my roof and blaming it on Switch Sports. I got to get a new one.
Just put your Joy-Con in like bubble wrap and just yeet it. Because you don't want to break the Joy-Con.
No,
you know?
yeah, those things are expensive.
But no, the VRR is amazing with Elden Ring.
I may have to hook that up. I have a pretty high refresh rate monitor, so I wonder if I can hook it up to that and see if it would like make a big difference.
It looks... I was in that underground area and I was like looking up at all the stars. I was like, oh my God.
Looks really good.
So good. They really up their graphics in this game compared to like Sekiro and all their other games.
And Sekiro already looked pretty good, so it is pretty astounding.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my Podtimists thing of the week. VRR.
Yeah, thank you, David. Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to move on to our main thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
This kind of feels like a new segment, right?
Like a new game? Not a good game?
Yeah, it's not a good games. It's like a new thing that we're doing.
Hot release.
Do you think that merits a new stanger, David? Because I've been dying to use the new stanger
We haven't used it in a while.
It's been a very long time.
I mean, we've been on a run of good games for a while.
Yeah, or just like doing something entirely else. We didn't even come up with a stinger for like the Metal Gear Solid episode.
Truly.
Let's see. You want to pitch a couple stingers here? We'll see which one lands well.
Yeah.
Hear ye, gamers and more. Come hear about the latest releases.
So new releases. Maybe just do hear ye.
Yeah, sure. I can add a little bell in there.
New game.
Yeah, that works too.
Just gonna throw out a bunch of things.
No game.
That was the 2 IQ version.
It is what it is.
You were doing like some fucking Shakespeare over there.
Some high concept.
What was it?
Stuff.
Hear ye, gamers and more.
Come see the new game. Or I didn't finish the rhyme very well. extra, read all about it. Hot new fresh releases. Come and get it.
Could be good.
We could probably just give it the hot stats treatment, right?
Like what? New game?
New release.
New release. Just really lean into the shock jock vibe.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for better or worse, that is part of our lineage at this point. So
the hot stats.
Yeah, hot stats and the shock jock ancestry
oh, no.
here.
Are we really?
Kind of. We play that clip a lot.
I mean, yeah, but it's not all we are.
No, but it's part of our family tree. It's in there.
Well, let's make a new branch, baby. Let's do something sophisticated.
Okay, I'll play some fancy music right here.
Welcome to the new releases, friend. Come down and have a seat in the library, and we'll talk about video games. Hello, gamers. Here's a new one.
Are you a wizard?
I'm like an old fancy butler.
You could say, would you like a sampling of the newest varietals?
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
But you have to say it. You have to do it in your voice. Your fancy butler voice.
Hey, hello, gamers. Care to sample the newest varietals?
There you go. That was good.
All right, nice.
I think it was good.
Yeah, we'll keep one of those, and then we'll add the new stanger at the beginning.
Stanger.
That one's really good. I like the new stanger. It's very intense.
New stanger.
Wow, this is a lot of self-reflection here. We're talking about a new game this week, which is why we're coming up with this new thing.
Yes. Was that all going on the podcast?
I think a lot of it will. Yeah.
Oh no, I wasn't ready. Didn't have my pod voice on. Didn't have the pod juice flowing. But let's go. We go. That was a live take. It was a live take.
You're getting raw David.
Oh, God. David.
Hey, we're talking about we're talking about Switch Sports, David. I don't think they use that song, but
they don't. But that's the song of my heart.
Yeah, the gamers will get it.
Yeah,
I have hot stats. Do you want me to read hot stats?
Sure.
Cool. It's kind of a good game.
Let's do it.
It's the framework we have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hot stats, I guess. Hey, this
hot
game.
Stats, I guess.
Hot stats, sort of.
Tepid stats.
Stats. Stats. Stats. So this game came out April 29th of 2022. You might be saying, that's pretty recently. It's because it is. Just came out. Mm-hmm. It's fresh. This game was made by Nintendo EPD, which is a newer subdivision of Nintendo. I believe it was founded in 2015.
What does EPD stand for?
Something.
Electronic Power Drive.
Electronic Power Dudes.
Electronic Potty Dogs.
Potty dogs? Are they pooping in the potty?
Yeah, they're good dogs. Those are some good doggos.
Yeah, very sophisticated.
They don't
dogs.
know how to flush the toilet yet, though. So sometimes it's
we're working on it.
You can only expect so much.
This one is made by Nintendo EPD, which is they've made such games as Miitomo, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Ring Fit Adventure, Metroid Dread. You know,
the heaters.
The Nintendo games.
There's
made
a lot
by
in
Nintendo.
There.
Yeah. Yes. It's
Mario himself is back there coding this.
Mamma mia, I cannot debug this for loop.
Who was that? That didn't sound like Mario.
It didn't really.
I thought Mario sounded like the guy from Parks and Rec. Star-Lord.
Yeah, no, it's Chris Pratt. I should have my Chris Pratt impression.
Do you have a Chris Pratt impression?
No, I don't think so.
Is it that different than your regular voice?
I don't think so. Yeah, like I think it would I'd have to imitate his like actual voice, which I'm not very good at.
His voice is a little bit higher than yours, I think. Come on, really? Star-Lord.
Yeah, sure.
It's me, Chris Pratt.
It's me.
What if he does that in Mario? Do you think he's just going to be Chris Pratt voice, or do you think he's going to try to be Mario?
I think he's going to have to utter "It's a me," which is like a pretty tough reality.
It's a me, we're gonna be facing Mario.
Soon. Mario.
It is I, Mario.
Look it's a fella, Mario. I have a review from Joe Video of Switch Sports, David.
They already reviewed it?
They already reviewed it. It's out there.
My goodness.
Can't stop the show.
No, the show must go on.
The show, man. It's a lot better than the one I said. It's a lot better than the one I said. Holy shit. I've taken Joe Video's review of Switch Sports. I've run it through Google Translate. It was originally in French, and I just hucked it through Google Translate through every language I could find, one into the other, and eventually arriving back in English. So let's take a listen to what they had to say.
Do it.
This will be the first Nintendo Switch indoor game. This technique can be used by all players. The logical proof is a joke and can be used well, but is also trivial. Cracks and cuts, shadow errors, and ventilated movements make it very difficult to read at low speeds. But it is not limited. Nintendo Switch Games offers a variety of games and apps for Shadow Family. No need to refill in the coming months. 16 out of 20 is the metric that they use over on Video Video.
Shadow Family.
Shadow Family and Shadow Errors both appearing in there is a little disconcerting.
Shadow Errors.
It's very Metal Gear.
Very Metal Gear.
It's very Metal Gear.
Because of Shadow Moses Island. Also, what do they say about the logical proof is bad? Just like big math nerds coming out?
The logical proof is a joke.
And a joke. Oh my god. Damn.
Proofs are lackluster, my
Your
friend.
proof is a joke, bro.
And can be used well, but is also trivial.
Go back
is the
to
full
algebra.
sentence there. You need to learn some new proofs. What's Switch Sports, David?
Switch Sports is the successor to both Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah.
It is a game for the Nintendo Switch that you play via the motion controls of the Joy-Con controller.
Yeah.
You play different sports, such as volleyball, badminton, tennis, bowling, soccer, and
Chambara. Yeah, it's true.
which is the best. So yeah, each game you do different motions with the controllers. There are some games that require like small inputs, like motion wise with the controllers to move your avatar around the screen. You can play against people locally. You can play against people online. You can play with some of your friends against people online. You can customize different avatars in the game. You can give them sunglasses, earrings, yee ass haircuts, anything that you want. Right though? Anyways,
the haircuts are a little nuts.
but yeah, it's Wii Sports. It's Wii Sports. If you ever played Wii Sports, and I can't imagine that there's many people who are listening to this podcast who have not once touched Wii Sports.
I think that's probably true. Yeah,
it was ubiquitous.
It's true.
Your grandma played it. If you didn't play it, ask her about it. Yeah, it's new Wii Sports.
That's true. And just like on the note about the online stuff, I do want to say that it's like exceedingly easy to play people online.
There's a lot of people playing this, it feels like, and they are all ready to be taken down.
Yeah, the skill level was not so good the other day, which is very nice.
Yeah, it's still some children on there, and I felt bad during Shambara because I'm pretty sure the first two people that I faced were just like young children, and I just blasted them in the head repeatedly.
30-year-old man steps into the ring with a child and just proceeds to knock them over the edge. Yeah, I agree. It is Wii Sports. It is that thing, just sort of like made in the modern day, which I appreciate. Like I said, I feel like sometimes Nintendo online stuff is really tough with like actually getting online and then like signing in, going into like a totally different UI and like, okay, now I'm online or something like that.
I was surprised at how seamless it was to play people online.
Yeah, no, you just click like, I would like to be able to play with people online. And then when you pull up bowling, it's like, all right, there's 20 other people you're playing with right now. Like, no big deal.
Quickly too.
Yeah, quickly. And like, I think especially for bowling, it's really nice because like you don't really have to have that good of an internet connection to play that game.
No, you don't.
And you can just kind of play it that way. I love that it is elimination bowling. That like it slowly just starts taking people out from the bottom half or whatever. It's very, very good. So, I mean, being that this is a pretty recent release, I don't know if we can necessarily talk about what has aged well or badly, but I do have a handful of questions for you, David.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Got some hot questions.
Let's hear it. Hot cues.
Give me your top your countdown. What's your top sport and what's your bottom sport? Top to bottom.
Chambara is my top.
So sword fighting, yeah.
It gets my blood boiling.
It's 1v1. You're really in there with somebody else.
It is 1v1. It is mind games. It even playing online, the connection is so strong. I was very impressed by that it was like showing me this other person's motions 1-to-1 with a controller pretty much right away. It worked great. It worked so well that you could actually like do mind games where like someone is blocking vertically and then like before the match starts, and they change it to horizontal all of a sudden, and they like to try to mess with you, and like just kind of twirling it around so they can't see where you're going. It's great, but it's very thinky in a way that I enjoy. It's thinky and aggressive, which I think are two of my favorite things in combination in a game.
Yeah.
If I can plan
Smash Brosy.
Yeah, if I can plan my aggression and have it work out well, I'm usually a pretty happy camper when it comes to competitive games. And I feel like the Chambara in particular, out of all of these, works well in that way because it is the one-to-one control of the sword.
Yeah, no, it's great. I guess for somebody who hasn't played this before, you essentially sword fighting with these like big padded swords.
Yeah, in a giant circle area.
Right, yeah, you're like up on a platform.
Yeah.
And the way that you land a hit on somebody is by striking them like kind of in the same line that their sword is currently held at.
Yes.
So if somebody's holding a sword like right up against their head, straight up and down, if you just hit them straight down, it'll hit them. Whereas if they have their sword perpendicular to yours, like at a 90-degree angle or something, and they're blocking, if you hit them, it like bounces off and it leaves you vulnerable to a hit.
Yeah.
And so it's this kind of back and forth of trying to trick your opponent into either hitting you and blocking them, reading your opponent and hitting them in the correct position so that they do actually get hit until they have been knocked off the platform. It's good. It's a very fun game.
Yeah, and you're trying to knock people off the platform into a pool of water. So there's like this this kind of sumo wrestling aspect to it. Like, don't get out of the circle, and that's how you lose.
It's pretty wild that some of this stuff is like very, very sophisticated. Like you were saying, like the motion being one-to-one with this like thing, being able to do that through the internet and have a game based like so specifically on the positioning of someone's sword. It's like, it's wild. That's the sort of stuff that like when you actually got your hands on Wii Sports originally, you're like, oh man, I wish that like this was one-to-one.
Yeah.
Right? Like tennis kind of got close, but it like wasn't exactly there. Golf was a little bit there, but by and large, like it was reading the motions that you were doing rather than the position.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's wild that they've actually like delivered on a lot of those promises way back when. Like sword fighting does that. I think badminton and tennis both do. Bowling is pretty much just bowling.
Yeah.
But volleyball is pretty good too. Like
volleyball
in
is
the way
pretty good. But the bowling has a little bit of it because you have to twist to curve it. But that's old Wii Sports technique right there. So we won't count it too much.
So what's your countdown? You got Chambra at number 1.
And then I think I got tennis number 2.
Ooh, a classic. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I like that it's doubles by default.
Yeah.
So you can use your front player to just like dominate if you want, if you have the right timing. But like I told you, I've been bloodied by playing 2-player at the net Mario Tennis 64.
Yeah.
So I'm used to it. I'm just like, let's go. Let's do it. Catches most people off guard, but I'm ready to see what happens when I'm on like the actual ranked ladder. Because up until this point, I've just been playing quick play, so it's just anybody. But I'm curious to see how these games evolve, how the meta evolves, to be very gamer about it. Once I get into like the ranking system. But the tennis is very fun. You have to be pretty precise. It really takes into account where and when you hit the ball. I wish there was some way, maybe I haven't figured it out, but to like kind of hit it harder, or to like do drop shots or stuff like that. But maybe I just need to do the tutorial and like get some education on it.
I think that there's like a button you press for a drop shot, but that's the only thing that I know of that lineup.
I know there's one in badminton, but I haven't found one. I haven't found it in tennis yet. But I just need to actually do the tutorial, I think.
Yeah, sure.
But it feels real good when you get that power shot. If they hit it too late, like weak, feels real good.
So sword fighting, tennis. What next?
Bowling.
Yeah, bowling's really good.
Yeah, it's just like you said, the elimination is great. Just how slight differences in where you put your player and how much twist you put on the controller when you do it make big differences. Love that. It is. Yeah, it's very cool. I love, like I said, the inclusion of elimination is really what pushes bowling over the edge for me. It's not just bowling. There's like this other game going on, which is really fun. Yeah, it's just like I just have to get to this number and then I'm safe. You know?
Yeah.
So it's not just playing the game, but like if you're not hitting everything, like you're playing the numbers too. But yeah, very fun, and you play with a lot of people, which is great. Like it's a full bowling alley that you're with these people, and then Shaq once you gets eliminated is cheering you on in the background. It's great.
We haven't even mentioned this yet, but there's like new sort of avatars that you can create in this game that are like much, I don't know if realistic is the right word, but a lot more detailed than the Mii's are. But you can choose to have a Mii in there too, and so it's bizarre seeing these like pretty not realistic, but hyper detailed characters alongside like these just monsters that people make in the Mii Maker.
Or seeing the Shaq Mii that I remember looking up how to make online when I was in like high school.
Yeah, in like 2008.
Yeah, just like, I haven't seen that face in many years.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't been called by that name in a long time.
What else? What are your next couple here?
Then I'd probably say, I like the racket sports. Then I'd probably say badminton, volleyball, and then soccer.
Wow, cool.
But
nice.
I would say none of them are bad.
No, none of them are bad at all. They're all pretty good.
Like, they're all pretty good. I just don't know. Like, soccer is fun, but it feels like kid soccer, where everybody is just ball chasing, or it feels like low tier Rocket League. So I bet at like higher tiers, people will start actually like playing the goal as well and protecting. But just the one game I played, I was like, this is just everybody trying to get to the same spot all at once, and it becomes just like a sprint essentially.
Yeah.
But I do like that you feel like Deku during it.
It's true. Your kicks are pretty powerful.
You are shoot styling the whole time. You jump and you kick, and it's just it's like a karate kick essentially. It's not really like a soccer kick. It is martial arts mixed with soccer. I like the volleyball. The volleyball seemed like the least fast paced to me, which I enjoy. But at the same time, I kind of live for the thrill, you know. At least when it comes to Wii Sports. But it's fun. I think it'd be fun to play like cooperatively online with a friend.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, because then you could really kind of get some strategy going. And I did like blocking people. Blocking people was really fun. It felt good as a tall boy. And then the badminton, I enjoy it, but I'm like, do we need badminton if we have tennis?
Yeah, it's like it's a pretty similar game mechanically.
Like you do have to use the controller in a different style than you do in a tennis. Tennis is more just like back and forth across your body, whereas badminton is more like you have to swing underneath and like do more like flowing motions to hit the birdie, as they say. But at the same time, it's just like it's just close. I'd rather they had put in another sport that was a little bit more unique than having tennis and badminton, having two racket sports that are quite similar take up a third of the games that are at least being released right now. I know there's supposed to be more that are going to be released in the future, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. What's your power ranking?
Let me see. I think for me it is soccer number 1.
Soccer's number 1.
Yeah, I really like the soccer game.
It was fun watching you play and doing those headers. Yeah,
the headers are incredible. You essentially like just go fully horizontal with your header and like shoot your body. It's very cool. But I think soccer, just because it feels like the most of a departure from the rest of the like Wii Sports games. Like the rest of them feel like they could have been in another Wii Sports games, but this is the first one where I'm like, this is kind of a different thing that they're doing here with being able to like move your character around and kind of run around the court. I think it's really fun. And the one that feels like it is the most variable when you're playing with other people.
Sure. I see that.
I feel like I like bowling a lot, but I feel like in most of the bowling games, there is one person who has gotten a strike every single round. Like they're just somebody who's crushing it every single time. Whereas like soccer is a little bit different. You do need to rely on your team a little bit more and like not, like you were saying, just leave the goal open. So yeah, I would be interested to see like if people actually start like playing it a little bit more well.
Yeah.
So yeah, soccer 1. I think bowling 2. I love elimination bowling. That owns.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool idea. I think volleyball number 3 for me. For a similar reason to soccer, in that like I haven't really seen this very much in other games. It's different, yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. And then sword fighting. It's really intense. Sword fighting is very a little scary for me. I don't know if I can handle that.
A little intense, huh? That's fair.
Yeah. And then badminton, tennis, just because like I feel like I've kind of played those before. You're right that like it is more sophisticated in the way that it tracks your motion, but I just had a lot less drive to actually play those ones. I mean, like you said though, they're all good. They're all very good. Another question: what sport are you hoping to add to this year lineup?
Well, I know golf's coming.
Okay, yeah.
Golf is a confirmed DLC that they will put out. I would love to see basketball.
Yeah, that would be cool if they could make it like soccer, and that like you kind of do have to move around a little bit.
It's like you dribble with your left hand, and you have to like shoot with your right. They could do something cool with that. I think that'd be pretty fun. Basketball, we need. For some reason, I think like wrestling could be cool. I don't know how they would do it, but I want to wrestle people virtually with my weird little Wii Sports avatar,
Yeah.
or bust out my old Shaq me and like just wrestle people, or like my Abraham Lincoln me.
Yeah.
That could be a fun one. Maybe some sort of archery or shooting.
Oh yeah,
Could be
sure.
cool.
Archery would be cool. Yeah.
I always find that those were pretty fun in any sort of motion control game. Shooting of some sort's good.
Yeah.
Oh, baseball.
Yeah, baseball would be pretty cool. That I think that was going to be my answer.
Baseball would be
Was
a
like-
great one. That's the one that almost blew my fucking arm out when I was in high school, trying to just pitch as hard as I can.
I feel like baseball was one they automated a fair amount. Like the outfield wasn't really something you did. You just sort of like hoped that the players would play well.
Yeah, you pitched and you hit. That was it.
I feel like that would be a really cool game to have like a lot of people playing at one time, where like everybody's playing in the outfield if they're, you know, on that side of the inning, or you know, everybody kind of waits while they're doing bats and stuff like that. I feel like that would just be really fun, like team experience.
Totally. You could do like 8 innings, because then that would be 9 innings, because for each team there'd be like 9 people out at a given time, right? That's how many players are on a baseball team.
I think so. I played. I should know.
Because there's 1, 2, 3 catcher. That's 4. Pitcher is 5, and then 3 in the outfield. That's 8, and then the shortstop.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
I think that's 9. So you could have 9 innings, and then everybody just alternates positions when they're on defense, and then you just have a regular batting order.
I see. David, if your life was on the line, what game are you playing?
Where are you getting these questions? Did you just come up with these beforehand?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, these are great questions.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm on an interview show right now. If someone is like, gun to my head, choose one of these games to like beat me at or beat somebody at, like online, or
Yeah, you have to win the game online.
Online.
Your teammates will be chosen at random for just like the normal pool of the internet.
oh man. Oh,
A real
God.
risk.
I don't know if I could stomach Chambara.
It would
if
be
my life
really,
is on the
really
line.
intense.
I think that I would fuck up and I'd be too nervous and I wouldn't play well. Like I would for sure die if I did Chambara. Maybe bowling.
Oh, bowling is interesting because there are more people there, more opportunities for somebody to just blow the lid off the whole thing.
That's true. Someone could just do strikes each time.
Yeah, they could.
I'm not that good at bowling. Fuck.
It's tough.
Fuck it.
My pick is soccer again.
Why soccer?
I just feel like if I just played really good defense, we might be okay.
And you want to do it on a
'Cause people-
team where like someone else could take the lead.
People are going to be chasing after the ball no matter what. Like, let me just hang back and like block the shots that are like a bummer if they go in. Like if they just lob it down the field from one end and like we have an empty goal and that goes in, like let's not do that. Let me just play defense, kick it down. They'll probably get on some kind of run and get it. I feel like that's my best bet.
Give me tennis.
Oh, tennis, yeah.
I'm gonna say
1v1.
It's 1v1, but it's longer game.
Yeah.
So if I can lose like a match or two from nerves and still be able to come back. Also, I don't have to worry about getting to the ball. It just takes me there. I just have to worry about my timing and that's it. And it's usually pretty well drawn out, like when you need to hit the ball. So I feel like at the very least I could live for longer and just like draw out a game for a while and then just hope that they mess up. That's usually my strategy with tennis, is just keep hitting until they fuck up and then smash it.
It's the weirdest Squid Games.
The
season
weirdest
finale.
Squid Games. You will now all be playing Switch Sports.
If you were going to start a podcast with some random person from Spocco Square, what sport would you try and find someone to start a podcast with?
Ooh.
So you've got your soccer crowds, your soccer hooligans, and your soccer fans.
Yeah.
You've got your bowling people, your volleyball people, your chambara people, and then badminton and tennis.
So I feel like tennis and chambara are both out
Okay, why?
because those are solo sports, at least in the game. Like you can play tennis with somebody else, but it's defaulted to 1v1.
Yeah, they're going to be a selfish podcaster.
Yeah. Badminton, I think it's forced to do 2-player, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think it was. I think it was forced to be 2-player online.
Which is a good number of people on a
It's a
podcast.
good number of people on the podcast. Bowling, still pretty individualistic, but
Yeah,
kind of for the people as well.
Yeah.
So that could be
Yeah.
a potential one.
sure.
Might be volleyball. Might be volleyball. That's a 2-player. You really
Yeah.
have to be in sync and trust the other person, because there are going to be some times where the ball is just going to them. And you just got to be like, all right, you got it. You have to be comfortable not being in control. Just like you have to be comfortable not being the one talking on a podcast all the time. It's not just you.
Oh, sure.
It's 2 people. You play off of each
It's
other.
2 people.
Yeah. These words that we use are the ball, and we're just bumping and setting and spiking it down for the laughs throughout this whole podcast. So I think it's volleyball. It makes a lot of sense to me.
I don't know that I can give another answer. That one was pretty concise. That's pretty much it.
I mean, we pretty consistently say on this podcast, like, oh, I set that one up for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that is a move in volleyball setting.
And we often say, I spiked that one for the audience.
Yeah. Or like in Smash Bros, I spiked you.
Yeah, or in Smash Bros, I spiked you. Yeah. I was going to choose bowling just because like maybe you wind up with just some bizarre person who has like some very fun thoughts. That is also equally possible that you might end up with a bizarre person who has a real bummer of thoughts who like doesn't necessarily need to be recorded into a microphone.
Yeah, there's a lot of crud, I think, with bowling that you'd have to sift through.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's a good answer.
Yeah.
If there was a musical set in Spocco Square, where do you think the main character lives? And which actor will portray them in the movie adaptation? David?
So, like, what arena they live in?
Yeah, what sport zone do they hail from? If this is like Divergent or something like that.
If this is Divergent. Why Divergent of all things?
I don't know. That's where my brain went for like house-based living places.
Well, they're probably from bowling.
Tell me why.
Because bowling is the everyman place. Bowling is where there's the most people, it's the most diverse folks. They're not like the most fit. You don't have to be, but they're very skilled. So people probably, the other athletes probably disrespect them, look down on them. So it's kind of like a very, very big, me versus the world underdog story, like the you becoming the champion of all of Spocco Square. Like top dog.
Yeah, it's very dauntless of them.
There you go.
It's another Divergent reference.
Did you just Google that real quick over there?
Maybe.
I saw you furiously typing, and then the color of your face changed as the Google page popped up.
No, I'm not looking at the internet at all. I tried to just navigate to a very dark page. There we go. No, nothing.
Oh my God.
That's a good one. What's the opening number? Or like what's the main song that they're doing in this musical, David?
It's a cover of They See Me Rollin' the Hayden.
Oh wow. Yeah, like a very Showtimey version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Not even Showtimey, just straight up rap. Hamilton showed you that you can just do rap, man.
Yeah, it's true. I agree that they come from bowling. That was my thought. Like they come from the bowling zone. First number. I feel like maybe Roll My Ball.
Oh.
Or how about this? How about 710 Split?
That's the name of the number?
That's the name of the number or the musical. It could be either.
Ooh, 710 Split.
It's got a ring to it. It's got a strong sort of like cadence to it.
Or just split! Exclamation point.
Oh, wow. Yeah, with the exclamation point really sends it over the edge.
The exclamation point's a bowling pin.
Oh my God.
And a bowling ball. So it's a bowling pin and a bowling ball is the dot underneath.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Split is the name of this one for sure. Holy hell.
Oh. And the opening number is 7 to 10 because that's how long the people in bowling have to work to make their ends meet. 7 in the morning to 10 at night. It's a fucking hard life for bowling over there.
Oh yeah, is it sort of like kind of an everyman? Like everybody does this work and it's kind of like tough, but we all do it.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very blue collar over in bowling.
And Teresa Bowling Ball is the main character.
Teresa Bowling Ball?
Yeah, I wish I had something funnier, but that's all I've got.
Terry Pins.
Terry Pins, god damn it. Yeah, that's already much better. Let's see. Who plays this person in the movie adaptation, David?
Who plays this person? Who's Terry Pins? It's Chris Pratt.
Oh man.
I mean, it's kind of set up for him. Everyman. He's just kind of the blue collar everyman in Hollywood right now. Bowling. He could get a little chubby like Andy and have like a beer gut. Or we don't do the worst, Chris.
My unfortunate answer was that James Corden is in this, which is
James Corden. Oh, what about the guy who played Olaf?
Oh, yeah.
Josh Gad?
Yeah, Josh Gad. He is definitely Terry Pins.
He's right. Terry Pins.
I'm down for the Josh Gad portrayal in a main acting lead in Split. It's really good. Finally, what kind of underground sketchy crimes are going on in Spocco Square that no one really wants to talk about?
Spocco After Dark?
Yeah. What's their big crime problem?
Oh,
what do they do?
Man. Oh God. I think just the people who played Chambara are just coked out all the time.
They're like, yeah, they're this is their nightlife. They're still playing Chambara after hours.
It's the after hours Chambara fight club that's going on.
My answer was going to be street badminton, so we're not all that far off.
Street badminton.
Yeah, it's EA's newest title.
Need for Speed Badminton edition.
Just put some Lil Jon in front of it. It'll be all right.
There's racing down the streets, but then they set up a badminton court in between the two cars, and then play going 150 miles an hour down the freeway.
Yeah, I'd play badminton street. I would do that. I would also play underground Chambara, high stakes Chambara.
Chambara club, real swords.
We're talking about a lot of like actual violence there, I think.
You said what's after dark? What's their seedy underbelly?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I did ask for that. Bowling, but with your butt out.
Oh,
butt bowling.
Just your butt.
It's illegal.
So like
in
assless
Spocco
chaps
Square.
bowling is what you're telling me.
Yeah, it's very provocative. It's kind of a political statement in Spocco Square because it is technically illegal to show your butt there.
Just your butt.
Yeah. The rest of it's fine, but if you show your butt, it's illegal.
Like, could I show what percentage of my butt could I show without getting in trouble?
The law is intentionally obtuse.
Oh,
it never comes down.
The caboose is obtuse.
The caboose is obtuse.
The caboosey is obtusey. Sorry,
I don't know if obtusey is a very fun.
Obtusey.
Obtusey. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I guess my question was, could I like cover up my whole ass, but like have my butthole showing? Would that be illegal?
I think that's probably the most illegal. For me personally,
immediately you are sent to jail and put on death row if you do that. Just like, get out of here. You are not fit for society or to live.
Spocco will not handle this.
Spocco says no, thank you. No, Daco.
Well, hey, this has been a delight. I don't know if I asked you this. Did you like this game? You had a good time with this one?
I'm loving this game.
It's very good, right?
It's hitting me in all the right spots. We've talked a lot about how much we love Switch or Wii Sports on this podcast, and just how kind of seminal of a game that was in our video game lives. And I know there are some people who are like, it's $40 and there's only 6 games. But I feel like for how well made each of these games is compared to the original Wii Sports, that's fair. Like, I'm seriously impressed by how well they do online one-to-one sword fighting.
It's crazy.
There are so many ways that could go terribly wrong, but it's pretty much like works damn well. Like they have done a good job on the internet play with this game. And I think that's a very interesting and encouraging turn for Nintendo. Yeah. Because their internet play had not been great up until this point. Yeah. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I really, really like this game. It's, as I was mentioning before, it feels like it delivers on the promise of Wii Sports originally. Yeah. Because there's a lot of sophisticated stuff going on that is easy to overlook because it feels so natural, but is like pretty astounding if you look at what's going on in there.
Yeah, it's just like, this is what I've wanted Wii Sports to be. Like, I still love Wii Sports, but this is what I always thought it could have been.
Game good.
Yeah.
Play the video game.
It's a good game.
It's a good game.
I'll meet you on the Chambara court.
Come meet me at Spocco Square. Let's go make Split real quick. I can't believe you came up with Split with an exclamation point. That's so good.
I'm pretty happy with that one.
It's very
pretty
good.
Happy with that one. So we are on Elon Musk Twitter.
Oh God.
Twitter by Musk.
Oh Jesus.
We are
Sounds like a shitty cologne.
It does. Musk by Twitter. We are at Podtimism.
Yes, that is true.
So come talk to us.
Yeah.
We also had a suggestion by a friend and fan of the show, Garen, to maybe start posting on Twitter what we're going to be playing in advance of each of the podcasts so people can kind of touch as well. So maybe we'll start posting that on there if we get our act together cleanly enough. But no promises, but we'll try.
Yeah, I think the hope is that like we'd be able to broadcast a little bit earlier which games we're going to do for good games. I suspect that will probably be like kind of a flexible thing because in case either we can't get our hands on something or, whatever ends up happening. But I do agree that it would be cool to tell folks in advance so that, if somebody wanted to download something on Game Pass, like I'm Fish or something like that would have been a perfect candidate for that.
Yeah.
That they'd be able to see it. And then, a couple of months from now, be like, oh yeah, I played this game.
And just have more interesting engagement with our listeners.
Sure. Yeah.
Which would be cool. Yeah. So look out for that. But yeah, we are on Twitter at Podtimism. Yep. We are on Gmail at podtimism@gmail.com. Fuck, I always do that.
That happens.
We have a TikTok. We have it. It's there. Follow it if you want, I guess. Yeah. If you really want to help us out, you can leave a review on Appy Podcast.
Yeah.
You can follow us on Spotify or leave us a review there as well. I think you can do that.
Yes.
Is that true?
That is it. Yeah, you can leave a 1 out of 5 review. So vote with your heart.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
If you think we deserve it, I ain't gonna stop you.
It's true.
Fair enough. If you can also, if you think you have some friends or family or enemies who would like this podcast, just let them know. Send them to us.
Yeah.
Let them decide. See if they jive with our jib. So yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah. It's organic growth, as they call it.
Yeah, sure.
Although not really if I'm asking you to do it. But anyways, I digress. Scout out of the week. Thank you, Scout Wilkinson.
Thank you, Scout. Crushing it. Day to day, every day.
I feel like I am a sunflower now.
Yeah.
That is part of my personality.
Me too.
It's great.
I've always been a sunflower.
I've always been a sunflower. Mm-hmm. She just is the one who revealed it to us.
Yeah. Thank you for telling us the truth, Scout.
Yes, she has. She is a wizard. A wizard with with letting people know what they are through her artwork. It's beautiful.
It's very good.
Yes. And thank you, dear listener, for spending your precious ear minutes with us during the week. We truly appreciate it. We love making this podcast. This is something that we would do if nobody listened.
It's true.
So thanks for making it a little bit more engaging and different and fun.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, totally appreciate being here. Love feedback, love hearing from people, and love that this can provide some amount of positivity for anybody. So thank you.
All right, Chase, do you have any video game wisdom for the week?
Video game wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. No.
Go chasing waterfalls?
If no. When
that was a quick abort.
When you're playing volley, no. I wish I like pause on me being, the bit that I can't come up with something. I wish that I could come up with like a verse of the first song in Split. Can you imagine?
7 to 10, baby.
Oh God, like it's this is something I wish I could do in post where like, here's the joke, but like that's a lot. I can't put that together. I don't know how to do that.
World coming at me, tearing me apart, working 7 to 10, feeling like a split.
Oh, wow. Not even rhyming at the end there. I love that.
That's the best I got.
Yeah, I was thinking like real upbeat. You said 7 to 10, so I was thinking 9 to 5. So we just do like the...
it does evoke Dolly Parton for sure.
Sure. Okay, well...
Give me something show tunesy, baby. You got it. You were in a band. You were a lead singer.
Working 10 to 7. It's throwing balls down the court. Yeah. I'm a every guy. My name is Terry Pins, and I work at a bowling alley. I have an interest in crocheting, but my bowling parents don't let me do that. The name of this musical is Split, and my name is Terry Pins again.
I loved it. That's beautiful.
Okay,
it's a rough draft, but there's definitely some heart there. There's some gold in that.
So the gaming wisdom of the week is that if you're gonna make a musical, you should just see what Lin-Manuel Miranda's doing. See if he's around.
Just pay him whatever he asks,
or see if he'll do it for like a couple, a burger or two or something. Like
a burger or two. Is Lin-Manuel Miranda a known burger aficionado?
I don't think so, but like. Just maybe start low. Maybe don't start with I'll pay you anything, because like I don't have anything. I got a couple of burgers you could have though.
Yeah, you can't start like too low. You can't be like the lint in my pocket.
Yeah,
you gotta give him like something with value.
You buy
a couple burgers.
You buy, I'll fly. I'll go pick it up. You don't need a DoorDash right now, Lynn. while you're writing Split, the hit musical coming in 2023.
I'll provide you with all the burgers you need, all the brain food you need to make this smash musical.
You're only he has to really sink into the bowling alley life, so you only get him food that can be purchased from a bowling alley. It's just wildly
God. So we're actually trying to kill Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Just wildly unhealthy by the end of it.
Just pizza, burgers, hot dog, pretzels, nachos.
And
what else do they sell? And soda and beer.
Yeah, just a ton of beer, a lot of light beer.
Carbs, grease, meat, sugar, water.
Local podcasters poison Lin-Manuel Miranda with bad food, driving him nearly to death.
I don't know if it's poisoning. I think it might just be more abuse.
Yeah.
Just like we forced him to eat all this shit food.
We gotta finish Split. Somebody's gotta do it.
It ain't gonna be me, Lynn. It's gonna be you.
Josh Gad is out there dying to play. Tony Pins. Terry Pins.
Tony Pins is good too, though.
Tony Pins does have some power in it.
His name is Tony Pins, but his bully / rival calls him Terry Zitz.
Oh, wow. Crushing it.
Terry Pitts.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Terry Pitts.
There you go.
There it is. This fucking musical writes itself, man. I don't see why Lin-Manuel would not do this pro bono.
Come on.
He just wants in on the ground floor of something great.
Lynn, have you heard of Switch Sports? We got to start there.
A man has more money than he knows what to do with at this point.
And I think making Split is what he should do with it.
This is the passion project.
Lynn?
You don't do it for the money. You do it for the love of the craft.
Lynn, look at me. Please, Lynn. Please.
Lynn, look at me.
It's going to boost our numbers so much. Lynn, please.
7 to 10.
With an
Tony Pins.
With an exclamation point. We do.
Wait. Get this. The exclamation point is a bowling pin with a bowling ball underneath it.
We will be needing to contact Dolly Parton. It may be an issue.
I feel like Tom Haverford trying to get a business loan right now.
All right. Well, then that's the end of the podcast.
That's the end of the podcast. Coming next week, Split 2, a Josh Gad story. Split 2, Split again.
The movie Split is going to be kind of a challenging thing to integrate, given that it's like a very different tonal movie.
Are you talking about the M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Yes, it's going to be kind of a hard corner to square off there. Very dark
and
sequel.
Then this jack dude just starts walking on the walls. And then, oh my God, it's Bruce Wilbus.
Bruce Wilbus really sent me to another place.
With a special cameo by Jerry Seinfeld.
I'm closing this podcast.
All right.
Goodbye.
See ya.